Welcome to Not Too Average Tabletop. I'm Zach, and for today's rules recipe, we're going to be looking at the game Sushi Go Party.
Not Too Average Tabletop. Woohoo!
The ingredients that make up Sushi Go Party are a rule book, the various different pawns, the game board, different menu tiles, and also the very beautiful different types of sushi cards. And lastly, the dreaded tin. To set up Sushi Go Party, you'll first want to place the game board in the center of the playing area. Then each player chooses a player color and places their corresponding pawn on or near the zero space of the game board. Together, all the players will decide which cards to use in this game. You can look at the card selection portion of the rulebook in order to see a couple meals that are suggested as good combinations. Otherwise, you can choose to create your own dish. Once you've chosen those, you will place those menu tiles that correspond to the cards into their appropriate slots on the game board. These tiles allow everyone to see at a glance which cards are in play and how they work. Next, after you've chosen all the menu items, you'll first shuffle the chosen dessert cards together and place them in a face-down pile to one side of the board. You'll then take all of the other chosen sets of cards and shuffle them together to form a face-down deck, which is also placed near the board. After you've created these two decks, you'll be able to start your first round. A game of Sushi Go Party takes place over 3 rounds, but before each round, you'll have to shuffle a group of face-down dessert cards into the main deck based on the number of players. Once this new deck has been created, you'll need to deal cards face down to each player based on the number of players. You'll then place the remaining cards in a face-down deck beside the game board. Take your cards into your hand, secret from the other players, and play now begins. Turns in Sushi Go Party will happen simultaneously. During this, each player chooses one card in their hand that they would like to keep and places it face down in front of them. When all players have done this, everyone reveals their chosen cards by turning them face up. After revealing cards, pass your remaining hand face down to the player on your left. In this way, each hand will move clockwise around the table. Pick up this new hand and the next turn begins. You will have a smaller hand to choose from. Something to note, the face-up cards will remain with you until the end of the round when they are scored. As you accumulate cards, group them together in columns of the same color. One thing to note is that even though most cards score at the end of the round, there are a few that have special rules that may affect the current turn. For example, miso soup has the ability where you only get to keep it if you're the only one that turns over a miso soup card for that turn. As you can see here, 2 players chose to do miso soup, so no one gets miso soup. However, if they had played these 2 cards where only one person had played miso soup, no cards would be discarded. You'll want to check out the card guide in the back of the rules for more details about how each card works. When all the cards have been played and everyone's hand is empty, the round is over. After this, you'll place any of the dessert cards that you collected off to your side. You'll keep them there until the end of the game, which is when they are scored. Next, you'll score all other cards you have collected this round. Each card type scores in a different way as described in the card guide in the back of the rules. You'll want to move your pawn along the score track on the game board showing how many points you scored in the round. As an example for this, we can look and see that this player has scored 6 points from the salmon nigiri because they had a wasabi that multiplied the point value by 3. Then they have 3 unique onigiri, which also scores them 9 points. Also, they've collected 2 tempura, which is worth 5 more points. Then they have a miso soup for an additional 3 points. And lastly, they have a chopstick card, which does not actually score them points. After all scoring has taken place, all of the cards except for the played dessert cards are then collected and reshuffled back together. Remember to add in a new set of dessert cards according to the round. Start the next round, which plays just like the previous. When you have played 3 rounds, the game is over. In addition to regular scoring, be sure to also score your dessert cards as described in the card guide in the rules. Whoever has the most points is the winner. If there is a tie, the player with the most dessert cards wins the game. That was Sushi Go Party. I hope you learned everything you needed to know in order to just get this game out and play it right away. If not, you can leave other questions you have about the game below in the comment. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Keep on nibbling.